This is definitely a cautionary tale for the older ladies. These men will have their sights set for a nurse and a purse, and you have got to be aware of what's going on. We've talked about it before, but we need to continue to talk about it. It's homosexual season. It's also the season of looking for a nurse and a purse. So this was asked in the Women Over 60 subreddit. She said, when his waning eyesight adds to his sloppiness, do I really want to be cleaning up after this man for the rest of my life? And the answer is no. You don't even want to be cleaning up after him when his eyesight is 100%. You're not here to be a servant to anyone. Okay, let's get into the post. She says, we've been together for nearly 12 years. We own our modest home and we are not married. We met in high school, didn't date then, and reconnected 30 years later in our mid and late 50s. See, he's looking for someone to take care of him into old age. He was, until 3 years ago, a diabetic in complete denial about the severity of his disease. He's had 3 partial foot amputations since we met. The most recent procedure was the most frightening, primarily because he'd been eating candy and lying about the diabetic wound in his foot healing very well. It wasn't healing, and he developed infected bone tissue. When he went by ambulance to the emergency department, I could barely look at him without wanting to sob or turn and walk away for good. It was then that I decided he's a grown man and the decisions regarding his health, the food he eats, etc., are his to make. Until that event, I've been very conscious in my food prep, cooking, and meal planning, but it's not my job to keep him alive. It's his. I do love him, but I'm no longer attracted to him, though he's a good looking chap. His eyesight is awful due to the diabetes. It's obvious when he's prepared food as the kitchen is messy and spills go unseen. I'm constantly cleaning up after his crumbs and messes because he doesn't see them. Jokingly, but half in earnest, I say we could live in separate houses. He's not a fan of this idea. For me, it would be just fine. I imagine my own home regularly and he and his doing what he wants. He's 63. I just turned 61 this Monday. We both still work full time. I don't want to be his nurse, especially when he consciously did not take care of himself before, and my trust in him was destroyed due to his lying about how well he'd been taking care of his health. Guidance and input, please. I'm not here to be criticized, but to learn possible solutions. Thank you. Whew, this is not for you. Have got to disentangle the finances and make a break, because you are 61 years old and you're taking care of yourself. You're meal prepping. You're doing what you can to stay alive and, be an active individual as you age. This person is just going to suck your life force. He doesn't want to live on his own because he doesn't want to clean up after himself. He doesn't want to properly adult. He didn't learn how to. And in his old age, he's not going to learn how to. This man is just going to drag your mental health down. And as your mental health declines, as your stress levels increase, your physical health will decline as well. He's already had 3 amputations since you met. What else is he? And he's losing his eyesight. And he's a mess. This sounds like an overgrown toddler. This is not your child. This is not your responsibility. He is not your responsibility. You should not be working hard at work and coming home to an overgrown elderly toddler. Absolutely not. Disentangle these finances, sell the home, get you a smaller home, and be done with this man. Katie Worrell said, face it, you're slowly becoming a caregiver, as his disease and noncompliance are already progressively incapacitating him. Decide now if that's what you really want and get out if it's not. BB Loves Travel says, and the longer you wait, the harder it will be. I'm so sorry you're in this situation. Silverman Wino says, and both involved are young. He's not young. He's young to have all these very serious health issues due to his denial and noncompliance. It's not going to get better. Do not set yourself on fire to save someone else. Status Poet said, it never works. A person like this will burn you up and then destroy themselves. 4B Forever is the one who tagged me. She says, if it's type 1 diabetes, then no, he's actually made it further than I would think. My brother died because of type 1 diabetes when he was 45, and he really tried hard to take care of himself most of the time. Primo Biatch says this: one of my absolute most miserable nursing jobs was as a diabetes educator. Most non compliant patient population I've ever worked with in my 35-year career. I cannot fathom being in a long term relationship with one. It only gets worse, and he's already shown you he has no intention of managing his disease. Since you aren't married, I'd personally cut my losses and leave. Okay, Refrigerator said, I spent 10 years doing quality and population health reporting on this population, and the 65-year and over group was always the healthiest by far. I figure its selection effects as the ones who don't take care of themselves that don't make it that far. Lantana Bush takes exception to that diabetes educator. She says, as a nurse and educator, have you no empathy for them in that all of us are subjected to big sugar lobby, sugar and high fructose corn syrup as an additive in most food products, FDA and pharma in league with each other, creating addicts for profit. This sugar and everything makes the Sackler family look like amateurs. Regardless, people still have to comply. They still have to kick an addiction, just like drug addicts and alcoholics. The educator is simply saying these people don't comply. And regardless, this woman in this that wrote this post needs someone that's more of a partner and not someone that's going to be a patient. Eileen says he's just going to lose more mobility, and you're going to end up trapped, taking care of a legless, blind, impotent man with kidney issues. On the other hand, with his eating habits, it's a guaranteed payout if you can buy a life insurance policy on him. Sarcasm, but not really. Not really. Get a life insurance policy. Since I doubt you could find a policy on him at this point, okay, that's probably true. You should be with someone because they make you and your life better. Do you really want to be cleaning up after a slob for life? Does he have enough money you'll inherit that this is worth it? I'm pretty sure if you check with somebody who's blind that the whole not seeing the mess to clean is BS. He's a lazy slob who doesn't care. I dream, I pursue, I become says diabetes is a pre-existing condition. He could get a life insurance policy that excludes diabetes or an accident only policy. I do hope he has insurance because it would be difficult or impossible to get coverage now. Eileen then responds with exactly have to get that before symptoms suggest you're not taking care of yourself, which he's obviously not taking care of himself. The OP weighed in after everybody was weighing in with their comments saying, oh my gosh, I am overwhelmed by your support and suggestions. Thank you from my whole heart. Heading off to work this morning with much to chew on and think of. The breadth and diversity of your comments speak to your wisdom and experience. And I'm grateful for all of your input. When, not if, I make a decision, I will let you know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really hope that this woman makes the best decision for herself, but this is for the ladies out there. Please be aware of these people that have not taken care of their finances, their physical health, their mental health, so that they do not make you a target, so that you can be their caretaker because they didn't do the right things in their 20s, 30s, and 40s to prepare for, retirement age. You should not be taking care of any unhealthy men going into retirement age. It's just going to age you quicker. It's going to bring you down. It's going to jack up your body. It's going to jack up your finances. Absolutely not. Aunties, grannies, mamas, no. Absolutely not. You need to be thinking about yourself, how you're going to, have some brunches with your girlfriends, how you're going to be going off on trips, how you're going to be spending time with your kids if you have some, how you're going to be gardening and doing yoga in the park or at the beach. That's what you should be thinking about, not dressing wounds and cleaning up messes and taking people to eye doctor appointments and all of that. Absolutely not, especially if you're not married to that person. Absolutely not. During the conversation, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.